So people always ask me, where do I get started with Sophia? I'm going to tell you, where you get started with Sophia is having a conversation. Let's jump right in. First, you're going to head over to app.schoolpsych.ai. Here's what's important for you to know. In our platform, we have a tab called Conversations, and we do that intentionally for a reason. And the reason why we do it, we want you to have a conversation with Sophia. What that means is we don't want you to treat it like a tool. You might have heard treat AI like a tool, like a calculator. I think the intent behind that is okay, but I think when you do that, you're leaving a lot on the table. Instead, when you treat Sophia like a partner, like a colleague, like someone that you will go to, just to have a conversation, see what we did there with, then the responses are going to be much better. Look, the reality is that we're new to AI, and especially in our field of school psychology and education, we really don't know how to talk, how to prompt, which is a very technical prompt engineering. It's a very engineering world. And so for me, I want us to be able to have a conversation and use our communication skills, which we're experts in as school psychologists. So to begin having a conversation with Sophia, you're going to head over to app.schoolpsych.ai and click into conversations. And once you're in conversations, you're going to create a new thread. And we'll just give this an initial. Now, a thread you can think of is like a file or a way to organize your conversations. And all your conversations can be connected to a theme. It can be connected to a student. It can be on a topic. And I like to organize it that way because everything in that particular topic will be the same. As you can see, I have two different threads that are BM. If you want to change that, you click those three buttons. You can delete. We're not going to delete that. We're going to click edit, and you can edit these thread names to be anything that you want. I like to do by initials. Hypothetically, I'm sorting all of my threads by student initials, so everything relates to that particular student. But you can be creative. You can organize your threads however you like. Now, imagine that there's a case that you're working on or a topic. How might you talk to a colleague about that particular topic? Well, let's say that you're working with a student who is having difficulties with reading fluency as an example. I'm going to go ahead and put in this prompt. I'm going to hit enter so we can get it rolling. And this prompt is, give me 3 evidence-based interventions that improve reading fluency for an 8-year-old third grade student named Maria, who currently reads 45 words per minute. It gives the percentile and struggles with expression when reading aloud during guided reading groups. All right. If I'm talking to a colleague, I'm like, hey, give me 3 evidence-based interventions. What are your thoughts about this? And then your colleague, your trusted friend, might give you a response like, hey, here's some evidence-based interventions. Intervention 1, repeated reading with feedback. Now, what I love about Sophia, our trusted partner, is that we have trained her knowledge base based on best practices in education, school psychology, so that when we're talking to our friend, our colleague, our thought partner, we don't have to tell her. She knows. She understands our world. And so when we're talking about reading fluency, she understands that, okay, based on the context of the conversation, she's going to give us a suggestion such as repeated reading. And then she gives us the description, implementation guidelines, some progress monitoring, expected outcomes, materials, resources, classroom integration, and home practice. What is also important, if we go back up and look at the prompt, being able to prompt, again, how to communicate with Sophia is very important. You can see that we gave her a very specific task, give me 3 evidence-based interventions. And I want those interventions to do what? To improve reading fluency. And then the next part of this prompt that we've constructed is doing some very important things. It's giving context. An 8-year-old third grade student named Maria, who's doing what? Is currently reading 45 words per minute, below the 50th percentile benchmark of 90 words per minute, and struggles with expression when reading aloud during guided reading groups. You're giving Sophia context so that she understands in this conversation what you want. And with that context, it can really help shape the conversation so that you get really good output back, which you see Sophia provided us not only good recommendations, the second intervention readers theater, the third intervention is audio assisted reading, but each intervention is really detailed and really specific. And then we can continue having conversations with Sophia. Well, Byron, what do you mean? Well, if I'm talking to a colleague, I might say, hey, I want to take this information and then put it in a table format that includes the intervention name, target component, implementation steps, session duration, frequency, and required materials. And that way I can share it with staff, parents, or whoever it might be. And in a few seconds, our good friend Sophia gives us exactly what we asked for: the intervention name, target component, implementation steps, session duration, required materials, and then it gives us those interventions and all the accompanying information directly inside of it as well, which is what we want. All right, very good. And it does that for each one of those interventions. Again, we are having a conversation with Sophia. So I might go back to Sophia, say, hey, I'll be working with Maria's case manager, who's a special education teacher with 12 years of experience but limited time. Your task is to develop a progress monitoring tracking sheet to track progress towards these interventions. Here's what I want you to do. Include specific data collection methods, measurement frequency, and both short-term weekly and long-term monthly goals. Again, we're giving context in this conversation of what we want Sophia to do for us. And now we see that Sophia has done a really good job providing me a really cool worksheet. We want to take this to the next level. Right now, we're just inside of our conversations feature. But let me show you something that's pretty cool. I'm going to click that copy button, make sure it's copied. I'm going to jump over to that Studio Writer thread. We're going to create a new Studio Writer thread, HL, and our Studio Writer is really awesome because you're able to essentially create documents with the power of AI. And we're going to create a new section. We'll call this HL. And just to show you how we can get really, really cool here. Next level, next video, we'll dive deeper into this. I'm just going to paste. And now we took that worksheet. And now we have a progress monitoring tracking sheet for Maria's intervention. You can edit this however you like. If we wanted to delete this, that's the power of it. Boom. Now we're deleting. We could highlight the colors. We can remove this out, add in the case manager's name, whatever you want to do. And that's the beauty of it. If we want to extend this data collection sheet, add in some more rows, look at that. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. All right. The cool part about this is you can export, you can print this out, and then print as many copies as you like. All right, let's jump back into conversations. Now, the next thing we can do as we're having a conversation with Sophia, let's say that we wanted to get the parents involved. All right, so we're going to put in a prompt, say, hey, Sophia, now I want to share this information with Maria's parents. They're Spanish speaking and concerned about how to help Maria at home without interfering with school methods. Write this in a parent-friendly letter that acknowledges their bilingual strengths. Be sure to include 2 to 3 realistic strategies that go along with Maria that the parents can use at home that complement, not conflict with school interventions and clear indicators of progress parents can recognize. Then we see that it gives this to us in Spanish, y'all. That's right. We also have a translator tool that you could use, but it also works directly here as well. Always double, triple check for accuracy, ensure that you can read the language as well. And then the last thing that we'll do here for this reading fluency conversation piece, let's go ahead and say, hey, what am I missing? What haven't I considered? To me, this is one of the most powerful ways that we can use Sophia. So often we're bogged down in our day-to-day work with all the tasks that we have to do. When we can have a thought partner in Sophia that we're having a conversation with, we can ask her things like, hey, what am I missing? What haven't I considered? I need you to pay special attention to cultural, linguistic factors, motivation, engagement strategies, technology resources available at home, coordination between general special education teachers, and how to address any regression during school breaks. Sophia can help you see those potential gaps. And then it gives, upon reviewing the original prompt, interventions proposed, several potential gaps and areas for consideration have been identified. Then it goes through and gives us really nice overview. It starts with the cultural and linguistic factors, bilingual support, while the parent-friendly letter acknowledges Maria's bilingual strengths. It is essential to consider how her linguistic background can be further leveraged in the classroom. So now we're talking about how can we pull, that's actually really good. How might we leverage that and use that as a strength? Providing bilingual resources or incorporating Spanish into reading activities can enhance her engagement and motivation. It gives us some of the cultural relevance, ensure that the reading materials and activities are culturally relevant and responsive to Maria's background. This can involve incorporating texts that reflect her experiences, culture, or interests. Then it gives us some motivation and engagement strategies, interest-based reading, choice, and autonomy. That's actually really, really good. Positive reinforcement, then some tech resources available at home that you should consider, such as, hey, you might want to evaluate the technology resources available to Maria at home, including devices and internet connectivity. So making it relevant and accessible based on the student's needs and family situation. All right, that's awesome. It gives us some strategies on coordination between general and special education teachers, addressing the regression. That's what we asked for. Then it gives additional recommendations. This is sensational. It's phenomenal. And now you can see how you can start utilizing Sophia just by having a natural conversation. If you don't get a response that you like, it's okay. Don't quit. Don't give up. Don't say, oh, AI is the worst thing in the world. No, let's work on how much you communicate with a friend that is very literal and keep going. And once you have a prompt that you like, guess what you can do? You can save that prompt here. That's a video for another day. What I want you to do now is go ahead, jump into the platform, give it a try. Make sure that you subscribe because I'll be doing a number of videos on how you can start having conversations with Sophia. I'll be doing some math facts, some calculation. I'll be doing some executive functioning strategies, some ADHD related strategies. And also drop down in the comments and let me know if there's a video that you'd like to see as well. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. And until next time, take care everyone.